basically, I've had this idea for a long time. But basically, I'm going to try to make... thanks you, Jim, for these hammer heads, by the way. I'm going to make... Actually, you know what? I've talked about it a lot. If you missed it in my previous social media and YouTube videos, let me know how quickly you can guess what I'm making out of a bunch of hammer heads. This is not going to be enough, so I actually have to get the other ones that I have all up in here. This is going to be a heavy sculpture because this is like an 8-pound sledge, I think. I need that and like all. I might even need more than what I have here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift it. It's even just this. I don't even think this is enough for the part that I need the hammerheads for. Oh my gosh. It's not that heavy. I'm being a little dramatic. Oh, these are actually mostly axe heads. I have another sledge here. This looks like maybe a 10-pound sledge. And I got a ball peen here. And I have a drywall hatchet. Or wait, no, this is a roofing hatchet. I don't know what this is for, actually. And another ball peen here. The rest of these are axe heads. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah. Over to this camera here.
So in the interest of saving time, because I talk a lot in this build video, I have the camera set on hyperlapse and then I sped up the footage in the edit 4 times.
3 hours and 48 minutes squeezed into a 28-second clip. And I'll probably make it even shorter. We'll see. But you probably can't see it that well from up there and that far away. So here's a closer look of what I've got on session 1. Now I have a few hammerheads left. This one was cracked in half, and so I haphazardly welded it back together. These heavy ones I don't think I'm going to use. This is already very heavy, but does anyone have a guess as to what it is at this point? So this piece here is the biggest one I have. And then to fill in our gaps here, I figured, you know what? They're not hammers, they're axes, but what does everyone use the butt end of the axe head for? Or as? You use it as a hammer. And so here we go, artistic license. Got a bunch of hammerheads in there. And on the underside, I have another one in here, this ball peened. And here I have to go with this radius, which was a kind of an accident, but I'm going to do something with maybe a saw blade or something. We'll go in there. We'll see. But I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, we'll be back up there.
So, fun fact, this is the biggest sculpture I've attempted to make thus far.
Man, I really like having this hyperlapse set up. It's so cool seeing it, like a couple hours of regular speed movement working on this project, narrowed down into 20 seconds for the second session of this project. Can you tell what it is here? It's mostly just a skeleton so far, and a whatever this is going to be. You know, I just thought of the thumbnail might give away exactly what this is, so it might not be a surprise at all. That's okay. I'm about to set the camera up again, the hyperlapse up for session 3 here, where I'm going to skin this, and I think what I'm going to do is use like saw blades. I have a whole bunch of saw blades laying around, literally laying around. I have one right there, which fell off the wall. They used to be on here, and a whole bunch fell here. And then I have a whole schwack load elsewhere as well. If I don't have enough, that's okay, because I can use sheet metal. Like here I have a whole bunch. Right there. As well as copper. Copper would actually look really cool. I don't know how I would attach it exactly though. I even have a bunch of copper here as well. We'll see how it goes. I will for sure be using up a bunch of saw blades, because I like the idea of having like the tool theme, if you will. Although it's not going to be exactly obvious what I'm doing, because I'm going to be cutting them up, I think, to more easily to have a more easily what? I'm gonna set up my brother's plasma cutter, which I think is right here. I think it will allow me to work more efficiently. I've never used one before, ever, so I don't really know what to expect, because I don't know what I'm doing. Now this is just a cheap machine, but it should work for what I need it for. Cut that zap strap. Voila! Okay. I know I've said this many times before. I'm not a welder, I just have a welder. The same goes for this. I am not a plasma cutter, I just am borrowing one. That has never been used before, so I don't actually know what goes into this. Okay, I'm assuming this goes into there. Or not.
As is typical with most of my projects, I kind of design on the fly, and since I use upcycled and reclaimed materials, I usually don't know how things are going to pan out exactly, and using this new tool didn't help much, but we figured it out.
We have success! The little Chinese plasma cutter that could. It's actually not bad. I don't really know what I'm doing exactly, but I'm figuring it out. Thank you to Armando for helping me set it up. He has the same unit, and I had no idea what I was doing, so I called him over here, and he was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then he got her running so that we could cut through, and I kind of just placed pieces as I saw fit, cut what I thought I needed, and it's working out. It's not very pretty right now, but that's just because I don't really know what I'm doing. But it normally works out in the end to be somewhat aesthetically appealing. My problem now has nothing to do with the plasma cutter. It has to do with the welder. I, unfortunately, ran out of wire. So I had to go get some more wire. I was not expecting it to run out. Usually these spools last a long time, but I must have made a bunch of other badass stuff that I forgot about. What I am waiting to run out is the gas. This has been on 0 for a long time. I don't know how long, but I have no problem with it running on fumes as long as it keeps doing it. I don't get it. Maybe the regulator is broken or something. I'm not sure, but it's going fine. Every once in a while, I think I'm out because of the porosity, which you might be able to see in there. But that's because I don't have clean welding surfaces. Everything is rusty or coated with this. These aren't galvanized, or maybe I guess they are. They are turning white. So having paint, rust, the galvanized, it makes it so the ground isn't perfect. And so then when that happens, you get porosity in your weld, which you don't want. But another thing that causes porosity in the weld is having no gas. So every once in a while I'm like, I'm out. But then I'm not out. Then I get a weld that, this is not a pretty weld, but it is a solid weld. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're still good. So, yeah, if I don't have to buy more gas, that would be great, because it's a lot more expensive than the wire versus like $300 for the big bottle. Let's hope that it lasts.
I never knew when I started working in this medium how much I would love it, but with every passing project, it really makes me want to upgrade my workspace and my tools.
Well, 4 hours and 40 minutes, our longest session, but it won't seem that long at 35 seconds. It's coming along. Lots of saw blades, and I still have plenty more. And if I run out, this saw blade here is actually almost ready to be changed as well. But I don't think I'll need it because I'm almost completely filled in. Now I'm keeping some gaps open because once I do the appendages, right, I will be using a lot more that I gotta cut up into these different shapes, and then hopefully the leftovers of those shapes can fit into these holes wherever they may be. So it looks fully sheathed, if you will. There's also the underside, which looks kind of gnarly looking up. But I think this is a good time to stop. Next session is gonna be it's where it's really gonna come together. It's really gonna start to take shape. I'm hoping to grab some more hammers so I can complete this part, because I'm going to be attaching that maybe next session, maybe not. We'll consult the time lapse.
Somewhere in here, I decided to stop using the plasma cutter. It was easier to go on without it.
Now, why would I weld in the middle of nowhere, nothing to something here? Well, look at that. Look how crap that is. That is just a big old bubble. Barely any penetration. Because I'm freaking finally out of gas. But I got pretty far. And it's looking pretty good, if you ask me. I mean, it's still far from done. It freaking fell off of my little rig here, and I bent the back here, so I'll have to bend that back. But my main concern is gas, and I'm hoping that these two cylinders I have here have gas in them, if they are the right gasoline in here. Not gasoline. That would be a terrible idea. I'm just talking out loud. Just gas. This is wow, that is dusty. Oh. This is 75% argon, 25% carbon dioxide. That will work. NOS. That almost makes you think it's nitrous oxide, but it's not nitrous oxide. That stands for like non-specified, something like that. Let's see what this is. See, same thing. NOS. This is just argon, no carbon dioxide. I don't know what the exact difference is, but I know we can use this for welding. Although it says oxygen on there. What the heck? No. Oxygen Products Limited. That's probably the name of the company that supplied this. OxyPro, a division of Oxygen. Yeah, okay, good. Because oxygen would not be good for this. You can cut with oxygen, I believe. You can do a lot. I don't know a lot. I would not want to mess with hooking oxygen up to it. Anyway, I was just about to swap them out here, and this has gas in it still. Don't worry, this gas is inert. It's not poison. You wouldn't want to breathe it in because it would get stuck in your lungs and you would suffocate, but like having it in the air, you're not gonna die.
from like some sort of gas poisoning or anything like carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide poisoning. I think I'm gonna hook it back up and do a test because for some reason we still have gas in there. I just can't use it. I just can't seem to not that I can't use it, but it doesn't seem to register. Maybe it's... Yeah, this ball float doesn't go up. If I open this up, opened it up all the way, it doesn't go up. It must just be the last bits or something. Gosh, I don't know. And I hope this actually has something in it. I don't actually know if it does. I got that from another... someone gave that to me whose husband passed away. The 2 bottles. And she wasn't sure if they were still full or not. However, since they were still in the shop, I imagine they are full. Although this is in my shop and it's empty, so you never know. Okay. I'm going to just swap them out.
So the main driving factor to building this piece here, which is, as I'm building it here, it's becoming more and more obvious what it is because I wanted to showcase, along with all the different styles and genres of paintings I do, I wanted to show every type of art that I do, at least in some sort of way, and I thought this would be a good statement piece to put in the show as kind of like an anchor and something that you'd remember the show by.
Okay, the right side is coming along nicely. I'm really digging the way this is contouring and flowing along the length. Looks great. I've taken it down off of the workbench because, as you can see, we're experiencing an issue with space. I wish that I could walk all the way around my welding bench, like if it was here or something, but it's not. So I've brought it down and we'll figure out how to work around our space constraints. But we're also having another issue here. I want to operate in some sort of semblance of symmetry with this sculpture. You can see on the right side here in this bulk area, if you will, I've used these circular saw blades, which are either 6.5 inch or 7.25 inch. I'm just eyeballing these, but I'm pretty sure that's what these are. My issue is I've run out of blades, or at least I've ran out of, these ones are all for cutting wood, and the ones I have left are, if you can see, they are diamond. They're for masonry. Now, the issue with that is not that they're for masonry. I've used some masonry. Here's a masonry one, and there's probably a couple other masonry ones in here. But most of them are wood, and I wish I would have like mapped it out a little bit better if I knew I was going to run out, but I didn't. My problem is, if you have a look here, the wood ones, they bend nicely because they're nice and thin, and they got these reliefs in them to dissipate heat and stuff, so they bend really nicely with some heat in the vise. The thicker ones, which the masonry blades are very hard to bend that way. They seem to want to bend in an acute angle, if you will, rather than a I don't know how to explain that, into a contouring curve. What I want to have happen is these bulk sides to curve underneath and flow into the underside and meet well with the material that I put under there. If I use these thick blades, they will just angle and it won't look as natural. I found out even here with the thicker wood blade, even with heat, you can see there's some discoloring in there. Applied a lot of heat. It just angled like an old school tent. So I just cut it in half, put half here and half here are still able to use them just fine. However, I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need at least 4 more, and the only wood blades I have left, way thicker than even the masonry blade. So this is going to take a lot of heat. I'm going to put it in the vise, and it's probably just going to fold in half. And I can't have that. Ironically, I do have a thin one, but it's having the same problem because it's too thin. I don't know how well you can see that, but it has folded in a couple places as I tried to put a curve in there. I tried to fix it with a hammer. You can see I beat the ball peen into there to try to put a proper curve in there, but it's a little difficult. I may be able to keep working with this. It could be just because, as you can see, the diamond hole in the center there. Maybe I should have bent it so it aligned with that a little bit better, but I wasn't thinking that that would even matter because all the other ones bent perfectly fine. Now, I do have a bunch of bigger blades. I have table saw blades and miter saw blades, which are 10 and 12 inches. However, those are very hard to bend because they don't fit in the vise. I've come up with some clever ways to do that, but even when they do bend, they bend more. This almost looks like a taco shell. They bend more acutely than curvaceously, if you will. However, I do have tons of them left. Now, I think they're hard to bend because they are a little bit thicker. Oh, look at this. I actually still do have another wood blade. This looks like a 6.5. But it's got these things on them, and I can't get them off. It is thicker, so it'll probably have the same issue. So I'll just put that aside there. But I got all these 10-inch here, and I got all those 12-inch there. Although, actually, I didn't really check to see if there was anything. Yeah, I got some masonry, but mostly wood. Oh, it looks like there's some. Are those 8-inch? Oh no, those are just 10-inch. Yeah, these are. If I take the thinnest ones, I might be able to make it work of the 10-inch. But like I said, I was using the 7.25, and I maybe this one. Oh, not see that one's a 7.25. Yeah, I probably didn't actually use a 6.5-inch one here, but it would work to go around here as long as it meets the underside nicely, which I'll probably use a lot of the 12-inch ones in there, which can stay relatively flat. It's kind of a bummer. Another issue I'm having, since we're talking about issues, is I put the front on, the big heavy part on, a little off center, so I had to cut it because I need to bring this side out to straighten it out. So I cut it in a couple places, and then I beat this. This was on crooked. Looking at it here without being able to look at it straight on, I kind of just eyeballed it and guessed from this angle, and I accidentally welded on this hammer here, very crooked. So from here to this point here, as you might be able to see, is like it's way off. So I beat this to the side where it's relatively straight here. Now I have to cut off this big chunk, move it over, weld it back up, and we'll be fine. My issue was last night I ran out of zip discs, but I went and grabbed a whole bunch more, and so hopefully that will last me and I'll be able to solve that issue. I'm not worried about that issue. It's mostly the material issue. I did ask my friends who are still framing and such, but as you might be able to guess yourself, why would they keep spent blades? They threw them out. They're not like me to keep stuff for just in case I might use it in the future for a sculpture, right? Like, I didn't even know what I was keeping for, but this is the perfect use for them. Unfortunately, I just didn't have enough, even though there's a ton here. Oh, actually, you know what? I actually might have a spent blade in here. let's see here. I got a couple other saws here. This one, that's still got some life in the carbide tips there. That's a 7 1/4. We got this one here. This is also a 7 1/4. It looks like there's some chipped carbide. That one I probably can harvest. Okay, and then we got one more. Oh, definitely. 2 carbide tips right next to each other. No good. Yeah. Okay. So I got 2 here, and this one very dangerous. Don't do that. This is stupid. This is a 10-inch. That's fine. I have tons of tons. Okay, I can harvest 2, and then maybe with the leftover masonry 7 1/4, maybe I can make it work. All right, let's consult the time lapse.
I'm not sure how obvious it is to see on camera, but once I got my footing with this piece, once I kind of got in the major groove, I wanted just to keep going. And if it wasn't for my stupid brain health issue that I'm having, I probably wouldn't have stopped until it was done as much as I could have.
Yesterday was the eclipse, and because I was working on this, I missed it. But I bet you this probably would have protected me from it. I mean, this is very bright. I don't know if it's as bright as the sun, so maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't really matter because, as you can see here, that is if, of course, you yourself didn't look at the eclipse without eye protection. We have a lot of progress. I'm really digging this. The issues that I brought up before, especially with the space constraint in this little area, I found ways to deal with it. I cleared off this table here, mostly, and laid it across the table. That helped a great deal. And then I figured, why not lay it out here and I can walk on both sides. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that the time lapse here couldn't really see this area. That must have probably been frustrating for you to like look around the screen, try to peer around the screen at what I was doing. Sorry about that, but I wasn't checking it. When I finally did check it, I was like, oh, I should probably move that. So I moved that yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. I've been working on this a couple hours over the last few days here. And anyway, in this place here, the reason why I really like it is because with that door open and with that door open, it solves another issue I didn't talk about before, which is when I'm welding here, it creates this smoke. And with these two doors open, it creates a nice cross breeze, and it just sucks the smoke right outside, which is great because I don't have any air extraction in here, which I really should, especially with my current brain health situation that I have going on. But now here we have another issue solved, and it's coming along. It's getting nicely pieced in. I even found a spot for this blade here, which I was hoping I wouldn't waste just because, I don't know, I like the idea of it having a whole bunch of different saw blade sizes, thicknesses, purposes, if you will. Like this is for wood, and then we also got the occasional concrete or masonry bit in there. Not bit, but blade. I even found this 9-inch, which I think is kind of awesome. I mean, once I'm done, it probably won't say that anymore, but I know it's there. I've never used a machine that needs a 9-inch. This says it's a cut off and rip, which is probably for a, I would say, a table saw. And I know table saws come in a couple different sizes. We even have some 8s in here. And then, of course, we have the 7s and the 6s and all that stuff. A couple 12s and 10s. We have a couple 12s left over here, as well as some 10s, which I am currently working on here. Is that still hot? Yeah, the heat is another issue that I didn't bring up because it keeps setting me on fire here. The worst is when the slag goes into my shoes and it burns up my feet. That freaking hurts quite a bit. I could easily solve this issue with proper attire, proper footwear, proper welding clothes, but I'm not too worried about it. These here are actually going to be the fins that go near the tail there, but we have an issue that's somewhat reoccurring, at least reoccurring for the first time here, which is I've ran out of wire for a second time. What the heck? That was a lot of wire, and this is mostly just spot welding, so that's a lot of spot welding, which kind of tells you how long I've been working on this. If I had to guess, it's probably like 30 hours, maybe more. I'm not sure. So I gotta stop and go get some more wire, but that's okay. It's about time for a break anyway. It looks like I have still plenty of gas, which is good. And if I run out of there, I still have the other cylinder over there, which is still hopefully full. But I'm almost done. I just got to do the underside here, button up a couple pieces here and there, and we'll be good. I'm gonna go grab some wire and get back on the time lapse.
As a collector of junk, what most people would just toss out, I cannot tell you how satisfying it is to be able to go into my art trunk that's filled to the gills with stuff and take some of it, in this case saw blades, of which many I have been hanging on to for years, and being able to use them in a project. I knew I was hanging on to them for something, but I'm so glad, and it is always satisfying when they are gone, because I've made something cool out of them.
You fit through there?
Oh, you're a freaking genius. You saw that from a while.
Oh, shit.
Well, there he is, all welded up. And I am very pleased with how it came out. I really dig this thing. I like the shape. I like the size. I love the texture. It's a little sharp, but it's saw blades, so of course it is. But other than that, other than being able to like ride it, this is pretty sick. I even like the colors that are in here, but unfortunately there's no color in the head, except for in these dollar store hammers with the the resin or whatever the heck they used to make the handles for those. There is some color there, but by and large there's not a lot, and so it kind of takes away from the cohesiveness. And so I want to attempt at least to make the body all one color. And what I was going to do to achieve that is similar to what I do if you've watched me create smaller sculptures. I usually douse them in brake cleaner and then light them up, and it gets like a heat treatment. I call it a flame bath. I want to give this a flame bath, but it's a little big. And so if you look, I even filled up already the fire pit there, but unfortunately there's a fire ban now because we've had such a mild winter. There hasn't been very much snow. In fact, actually right now there should still be lots of snow on the ground, but I only have this a little bit left on, I think, probably the whole property. Not a lot of snow, so it's very dry, and therefore there's a fire ban, and so I can't barbecue on the fire pit over there. I was hoping to basically be able to like set this on and then move it as it roasted and became all one color. Well, with this bluing and such, that would be great, ideal. I don't know if that would have happened or not, but I guess we're not going to find out this go around. Instead, we are going to use a tiger torch. Let's see how this works. We got the time lapse. Is it going to be a success or fail? Let's find out.
This day was so cold. This took way longer than it should have. If it was warm and not windy, it probably would have been a lot faster.
Well, unfortunately, these big old thick hammerheads are too thick to heat up with any sort of consequence. And again, it falls over. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. About an hour and 4 minutes squeezed down into 32 seconds. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I was trying to blue these up a little bit because the rest of it is kind of blued up, which I really like. I mean, that's what was happening as I was trying to form them around this armature, and I thought it looked quite good. But now that I have it at this point, I think I'm quite happy with it. It's not the same color as. Come on. Okay. It's not the same color as the head, but that's okay, because next we'll just give it a little spritz of God's brew. Well, I thought it was going to rain, but it decided to snow. So God's frosty brew, I guess. I don't know. The effect will be the same and perhaps even better because it's going to sit on there rather than run off. Let's see what it looks like when it melts. Well, a lot of the snow has melted. Has it created a patina? I mean, I guess so, but it doesn't look much different. So what I'm gonna do while we have the warm sun, just add a little more snow to it. As that melts, it'll rust it a bit, which I think will look good. Just kind of random. Now you might be wondering, hey, why rusty? I don't know, I just think it looks good. Kind of why I like that truck and why I got it. And, you know, speaking of that truck and how it's colorful, you know what I was thinking, which is kind of sad that it was too late. Having, this used to be red, right? And this used to be yellow, and there used to be bits of white, other red and yellow. I have a red axe head, and with those yellow accents there and a red axe head, that would have tied it all together. And I'm so bummed I didn't think of that earlier. I would have really liked that. It would have looked really cool. But I got the bluing going on in here, although it's kind of disappearing because of the moisture. That's okay. Next time I'll do that. Oh, look how quickly that's melting. The sun is quite warm on it, I guess. Next time I will keep in mind the colors. If there is a next time. Will I ever make another hammerhead shark? You know what? Probably. Probably I will, because I really like this one. Okay, I'll probably do this just a couple more times throughout the rest of the evening, and then it's time to clear coat. One last one. There we go. All right, another night of it getting encrusted with this icy brew. And she is looking nice and brown. I'm really liking how this is coming through. It's not very orange like I expected it to be, but I think that's good. It's more brown. There is orange in there, of course. But I like this. The sun has been melting it
and then I've been piling more on, and then the sun has been melting it, and then I've been piling more on, and I'm really liking the way it's come out. I think I can clear coat it now once this all completely melts. Sun is still over here. It's going to travel all the way, so it'll have full sun all day. I think this evening I will put on the clear coat, and show's tomorrow, so just in time.
I'm actually going to do it now. The sun is like, it's moved maybe like, I don't know, like 12 inches, but it's already dry, so I'm going to clear coat it.
Shit, that's good. Oh, there's some water.
Well, it looks good and looked good for the show. I actually really dig how this came out. As you can see, already changing things up a little bit if you came to the show. Unfortunately, in my real time, I haven't done any editing of vlogs and videos coming out, so I don't even know what footage there is of this shark, so it's a good thing no one bought it in that sense. But there was lots of interest in this. I'm really liking the way that it came out. Yeah, and so the gallery wants to keep it here because of the interest in it, and also they just think it's cool. So that's actually pretty awesome. So he's gonna live here until someone buys him, or if it just takes up too much space or whatever. But if someone buys them, I'll make a custom stand if they need one, or rigging so they can hang it up or whatever. But for now, it's on the blue cart here, the ugly blue cart. It's gonna turn out awesome on a stand, though. It's a really cool sculpture. Probably, I guess, my biggest at this point. The noise in the background. They're rehanging the walls. I'm gonna have this wall stay up over here, which is pretty cool. And then you can see, got a bunch of stuff off already. Still gotta take that down. And a couple of these are sold, so those are gonna get shipped off, and maybe some of these as well. All in all, pretty stoked. And because I know the comment section is the comment section, yes, it is sharp. It's made out of saw blades. Of course it's sharp. But it was here with like 100 people coming through the gallery for my art show, and not one single person cut themselves. If you're reasonably careful, you will be fine. Even if you're unreasonably touching it, you're gonna be fine. It's not so sharp that it's gonna cut you unless you're doing something stupid. I did my best to kind of grind out the edges and all that. Yo, did I just discover something? How did that zoom in by itself? That was weird. Anyway, everywhere I thought would be a place to catch your hand, I made sure that I made it relatively smooth because I didn't want anyone cutting themselves by accident. Of course, it's still possible to cut yourself on purpose. Let me know what you guys think of this sculpture in the comments. And maybe even a title.
I will be making a vlog on my art show in the future. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.